Hello and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for the continued support. So, what we have here is a PlayStation 2 model number 39001. So, customer gave this to me with a complaint of it not getting any power, which I did verify off camera. I plugged it in, got nothing. No lights, no nothing. So, I gotta figure out what's going on with it. But there was another piece of information that he did tell me, was that he remembered when it was working, there was a thunderstorm, and after that thunderstorm, it stopped working. So, what that's leading me to believe is that there was a power surge, and it probably fried something inside this console. So, I'm gonna start off by looking at the power supply, because normally when a power surge goes through, the power supply is usually what takes the brunt of the damage, and there's also fail-safes in the power supply that prevent damage to the board. So that's what I'm hoping it's going to be, and that's where I'm going to start. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we got the handy-dandy egg carton. We have the console flipped over. Well, actually, first things first. Let's take this off. Make it a little easier. And it also is missing the... It's also missing the warranty sticker, so somebody's been in here before. So there have been so many of these on my channel, we're just gonna breeze through this part here to get inside. Alright, with the screws removed, we can take the lid off. The fact that this has been opened before is kind of making me a little nervous, especially when I was taking the screws out. I think that the last person might have cross-threaded those case screws. When you put the screws back in, you always want to go backwards and forwards. Which is actually funny mentioning that, because I actually, on one of my previous videos, somebody left a comment accusing me of not doing that. Which is funny because I always do it. It's just not always obvious on camera. But yeah, you always want to go backwards and then forwards, so then the screw seats, because this is plastic, so it's easy to cross thread. There it goes. Well, first thing I'm seeing is a lot of corrosion on the RF shield here, which is leading me to believe that whoever owned this at one point, this must have been stored in like a basement or a crawl space or something. An environment that was a little on the moist side. Doesn't smell moldy, at least, so that's a plus. This thing's a wee dusty, so just blow a little of it off. And now we can get at this power supply. So the first thing I want to check is the fuse right here. A lot of times this is what blows out, especially if it's like a power surge. So just kind of looking at it, I mean the fuse looks alright, but it still could have blown So we're gonna test that. I have it on the beepy mode, so we're gonna test it. Alright, we got continuity with the fuse, so the fuse is good. So there goes my hope that it was just a busted fuse. So now we gotta move on. The other point of failure on these power supplies is the capacitors. But before I start going and testing those, I do want to check the, see if the power supply itself is working. If the power supply itself is working, then the issue is not with this at all, but something on the motherboard. So there's one other test I want to do, just to kind of rule it out. I've never seen these go bad, but wouldn't hurt to test it, is the power switch. So what you're going to do, you will be working with live electricity, so be careful and don't electrocute yourself. So if you're uncomfortable with working with electricity, just have somebody that is work on this for you if you're testing power supplies or whatnot. But as long as you're safe, you shouldn't have any issues. So I have my multimeter set to AC voltage, because at this point it's still AC, it hasn't hit the power supply. So the black wire is going to be the live, the white wire is going to be the neutral. So we're going to back probe here. So as of right now we have no reading because the switch isn't activated. I'm just going to hold it there, turn on the switch, and the switch is good. We got 120 volts of electricity. Again, that's probably not going to end up being an issue. They usually aren't. I've never seen one broken before, so but it just doesn't hurt to just completely rule it out. And so here I am with this little setup here. I have the switch from another PS2. I just kind of have this one sitting around. I know this works. So basically how the power supply works is it's taking AC voltage from this switch and the mains, goes through here, goes through all this stuff, and then comes out as DC voltage here that goes to the motherboard. So the total output is 24 volts. Now that's broken up into two lines of 12 volts each. So this is 12 volts DC, 12 volts DC, and then the right two here, it's negative and negative. So what I'm going to do is I'll first turn this on. I'll put the negative probe in here, or you can put it in here. Actually, I'll just put it in there so it's a little more out of the way. I got my multimeter set to DC voltage, and I've got nothing. And nothing. So I can reasonably conclude that the fault is somewhere in here. Now I'm going to show you how this method works with a working power supply. And so I have a working power supply hooked up here. I'm pretty sure this one's also from 39001. So again, I have this a little more zoomed in now. So remember, positive, positive, negative, negative. So negatively goes in to the negative, and then the positive. So see, we got 11.81 volts. That's good. 11.81 volts. That's good. So this power supply is working. Alright, so I did want to put a lot of emphasis on like how to test this connector here for the power supply to see if you're getting proper voltage. And really it's more of like an act of contrition. I did do a video a long time ago, very early on in the channel, where I was showing how to like diagnose a power supply, and I ended up getting called out by a few commenters, and rightfully so. And they were also very nice about it too, so that was pretty cool of them. But anyway, I did it wrong. Don't know why I did it wrong. I must have had a brain fart or something. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. So I did promise everybody that commented that I would address it in a future video, and that moment is now. So yeah, I'll update that video with links and whatnot, and get everybody the right information. But yeah, that's how it's done. Anyway, moving on. So the next thing we can test, and this is usually the point of failure, is these 4 capacitors. I've replaced these capacitors on actually many power supplies. This was made during the time of the capacitor plague, so And on one of the capacitors I do see corrosion, so we're gonna test it with my ESR meter here, which is was also recommended by a commenter. I think it was on that same video actually that I screwed up. So we'll start with this one. I think it's that one. Positive, positive, negative, negative. And it's saying it's a good cap with low ESR. Next one is here, just there. Good cap with low ESR. What was that? I want to check the chart. 0.15. Well, these both are going to be the same, so it's 16 volts, 1000 microfarads. Yeah, that's actually, that's accurate. But it's actually not that far off of the worst case. Alright, so the next one we're going to test is this one here. 16 volts, 220 microfarads. That one. Good cap if under 200 microfarads. This cap is bad. Yeah, it's saying the worst case on this chart is 0.33 and we're at 0.36, so that cap needs to be replaced. So then we got this little guy here. Where are you located? Ah, right there. Yeah, I think this one's bad too. Good if under 220 or 200 microfarads. And I can't read the value on it. This is what happens when you get old. Despite my stunningly good looks, I'm actually in my later 30s. Yeah, 33 volts, 27 something. I think that's 27 microfarads. Well, what we could also do to verify is pull this capacitor out and test it. Yeah, I just want to make sure all my bases are covered here. That was painless. Right, so I have the capacitor hooked up there. Just move it to the capacitance. We're looking for 27 microfarads. According to multimeter, it's nothing here. Alright, so yeah, we definitely have at least two bad capacitors. These two tested fine, but I have seen these two go bad as well. So I'm going to get in touch with the owner because I don't do work that's not authorized. So I'll let him know what I found, let him make the decision if he wants to go forward with that. I think he will. And I will recommend that we replace these two as well as a preventative measure. And this one I've never actually seen go bad, so I'm not too worried about that. But otherwise, yeah, so once I get the go-ahead from him, we'll be back. Alright, and we're back. We got the green light from the owner, so let's get going. So this one's already out, so double check. 27 microfarads. Okay, and these are the other three we gotta get. Well, that won't fill right out. Might as well just pop that one in. So this one's going to be going in the C206. And it's 16 volts, 220 microfarads. And the negative is always going to be at this part right here, facing that. At least on this particular power supply model. Alright, all we gotta do is solder these up. Okay, let's see if we got voltage. Flip this on. Have that set the DC voltage. There we go. 11.78. 11.78. Very good. This power supply is fixed. Just to double check, all the rails are working, and it's good. Alright, cool. Now we can put this back in and make sure the PS2 works. I think I always have a tendency of overfluxing. Board's a little sticky. I wonder if there's a flux remover I can use, actually. If anybody have any suggestions, hit me up in the comments. There's a little crud on the controller ports here. Just clean it while I'm in here. Do at least a little basic clean. As much as I enjoy will enjoy the repeat business, I don't want it to be something that I could have prevented it while I was here. Now, the moment of truth. Alright, we got a light. Oh, look at that, he's got Star Wars Battlefront 2 in there. I know he said that he had a game stuck in there, so now he's got that back. And I just want to check, make sure everything works. Hopefully there's not any other issues. Okie doke. He did mention to me too that the disk drive, when he put in his blue discs, was loud, which honestly it's normal. It spins faster, so it's going to be louder than DVD games, but I just want to make sure he doesn't have a disk read error, or if anything weird's going on with it. Yeah, no, he's golden. Actually reads them pretty quickly. I mean, I'll pop a game in and see, and just double check. I'll pop a game in and make sure it loads off camera, but yeah, if it's reading the disc at the main menu, I'm not too worried about it. Alright, cool. There is one more thing I want to do. And I just want to check out the disk drive, make sure it doesn't need like a quick clean or anything like that. Or see if it needs a quick clean or anything like that. And as always, just these 4 screws. Yeah, this tray opens pretty good. It's in pretty good shape. So it's not like he's going to need I don't think he'll need a belt replacement in the near future. At least it opened up as well as these things usually do. And yeah, this drive's actually really clean. Just give it a spritz of the good stuff. Give the laser a little bit of a clean. Let's wipe this down a little bit. Even the rails are pretty clean, but I'll just put a smidge of grease on. Just to help her along a little bit. I did wipe down the cover inside and out too, so probably didn't see that on camera. Alright, so just gotta put this thing back together. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. That was actually a pretty easy fix. Especially on these 39,001 models for whatever reason. The power supplies always tend to be a little bit of an issue, so if you get no lights, that's where I would start first, is the power supply, especially those capacitors. They just have a tendency of going. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just glad that there wasn't any other major issues or other things that we would have had to address. Because if that was the case, then this would have ended up becoming a lot longer and a lot more of an expensive repair, but... So, yeah, as I'm putting this back together, I guess this is a good place to end the video. So, thank you so much for coming along with me on this repair. If you like this content, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Definitely have some pretty cool things in the pipeline. I have an Xbox 360 and Xbox coming up. I'm hoping to record soon. So yeah, there's definitely no shortage of projects here. I'm also going to be branching off into some other repairs as well. So, yeah, if you hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell just so you don't miss any future videos. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I do try to stay as on top of the comments as possible. So, like, even on older videos, I do try to reply back best I can. So, if I happen to not, don't take it personally. It's just, time is limited, especially with the wedding coming up, which is going pretty well as of recording right now. When this video drops, maybe I'll be married by then with what my upload schedule is, but we'll see. But, again, thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.